Today for a bush kitchen time, I'm gonna make a Bregg, which is bread mixed with egg. Which we're gonna need about, for one person, I'd say 2 eggs. Here's my spork. Here it is. It's a good time to add salt to taste. Some garlic powder. And pepper. This dish is basically something that it can be made quite fast, but because I'm filming, it's taking longer, obviously. If you don't have butter, and you don't feel like having a very dry bread, because you have nothing to put on it, the Bregg is perfect for that. Anyway, it's just one of my favorite dishes when I'm hiking through the forest. Olive oil, you're gonna need that. Some birch bark here always. This is just to clean the pan. So now you want to add a generous amount of oil. Like so. You want some sort of fluffy bread because the idea is that the egg is going to be soaked by the bread. Not much to it. Let's get that Bregg going. Needless to say that the longer you leave the bread, the more mushy and soaked with egg it's gonna be. So do that to taste also. A good indicator is if you see the egg that it's pretty done on the edges, you can probably flip it. And then again, this is according to taste. Some people like the egg less cooked than others. Because you're adding olive oil to the bread, it's a lot of calories, which helps if you're hiking. You can also add some nuts to the egg if you grind or crush them. That's another option that you can do with this. Hey bud, I guess you want one as well, huh? The bread's not going to get hard unless you really overcook this, and that's not the idea. This is a good color. Looks kind of pancakey like. The good thing about the Bregg is that it has egg in it. An egg really, at least for me, it really keeps my hunger at bay. With 2 of these, I won't be hungry for at least 4 to 5 hours. At least. If I eat just bread and butter, within 10 minutes, I'm hungry again. So this is how it's supposed to look like. Make another one. And I'm going to be adding a bit of vegetables because they have a lot of fiber, which means they stop the hunger from coming in again. Looks good. And fresh. Bit of onion. Well, you heard that? That was my stomach. Brrr. It's complaining. 1 clove of garlic per Bregg adds all the spice I really need. And believe me, if you eat it raw like I do, not only is it better for you, but it's pretty spicy. Piece of ham. That looks good. Gonna add a bit of oregano on this one because tomato and oregano, my father taught me that. It goes really well. You add that, a little touch of olive oil to that on each piece. It's a wonderful, wonderful combination. Guess who's gonna clean the dishes? You got it. And to those at home going, ew, all I have to say is, whatever. I have a pouch for my frying pan. It's a little heavy, but it's perfect. You know, these things usually fill up with soot, especially if you use pine or spruce to cook with. It gets really black and sooty. And you don't want that in your backpack. So I made this bag. And there's nothing to it. I just cut off one of my jeans. It was an old pair of jeans, and this is part of the leg. And this is where I keep my frying pan and other backpack cooking utensils. You get half now and half later, boy. Because you don't know the meaning of chewing. You just gulp it. You wanna gulp it? I have to hold it so you don't, yeah. Whoa, you chewed. That's good. Okay, one of my tomatoes fell. The joys of camping. But whatever. This is kind of wobbly, so it's a dish that actually, if you have a fork and a knife, it's a lot easier to eat. But you can do it like this too. You should chew, Petrus, because you extend the pleasure like a billion times. I've tried to explain this to you, but you don't want to listen. He's like, yeah, whatever. Some of you might wonder, why don't you just fry an egg and put it on top of the bread? Try to make the Bregg, and you'll see why. It's a completely different experience. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Bush Kitchen Time, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters.